looking like. Well, hey, everybody, I think I have actually gone live, and you might be able to hear my voice, but not be able to see me, and I can tell my camera is absolutely not on. So I'm going to see if I can't make that happen. Oop. All right, let's try. I think it's coming on now. Hey! That took some time. Well, hello. Let's see, it's a really slow connection. So I'm not sure if you're going to hear as well as you can see. Online it's really blurry. So let's see if I can fix that for us too. This is, let's try this. Oh, I'm going to try one more thing here. Hold on. All right, let's see. Hopefully, this is going to clear up better here. All right, well, hey there. I hope you guys can hear me okay. And Deepo may be joining me. Is still in the process now of doing all the paperwork and all the last minute things that she needs to do for her home. As you guys remember, if you were here with us last week, she moved to Hawaii from Las Vegas and is in the process right now of just still getting, she's moved everything over and now she's got to get all the extra things done. So she is going to be on board with us next week as we cover the strategies. I was looking at that today. Mechanics and Strategies, Module 4, that's in the Top Producer formula that will help you to move forward in any business that you have and be a top producer in whatever it is that you want to do. And so, so this week, and oh, I got a little message here. I was going to say, Deepo is also on the way. He's on the road, and he might jump on. Okay, nope, that wasn't from him. Sorry about that. Sorry to interrupt you on that one. So if he does get a hold of me and send a chat or call, I'll go ahead. I gave him the link, so hopefully we might just see him pop down in the corner. If you see him, shout hooray, and we'll have him join. But what I titled this, and if you looked, you saw it, Creating Self-Ease with Selfies. And I tell you a little bit about me. I guess you're wondering why, who am I and what am I doing here if you're new to this call. This is a hangout that Deepo and Regina and I have every Thursday. We try to start at 5. Sorry, we're late getting started today too. Just everybody's going every which way. And happy 4th of July coming up for those of you in the US of A. We're excited to celebrate independence, and freedom is always something really good to celebrate. But anyway, I am from the background of fitness and nutrition, and Deepo comes from Nigeria, and Regina tells her story. She was a police officer. She's a retired police officer, and I'll tell you, we have several different backgrounds, but we do one thing, and that is that we want to build lives of freedom. We want to have time freedom, and we want to have lifestyle so that we can go where we want, with who we want, and do what we want. And in order to do that, we all started searching for ways to do that. And for me, it was through friends and getting a website of my own, making that try to run, realizing in the nutrition industry and the fitness industry that I didn't want to be in the hospital setting. Worked with patients in weight loss and got very frustrated with that. I love working one-on-one, but it's a lot easier when you're working with somebody who's motivated and serious about doing what they want to do, and that are able to follow your instructions that you have. Now, for you out there, you may have experienced this where you've been given instructions and they absolutely work. And when those work, you get really excited. And that's where it was for me. I'd had experiences where I'd seen things that had worked. I had programs that worked and systems that worked. And so when I met with people and, worked with them and plugged them into systems that I knew worked, but they weren't working the system, it got very frustrating. So what I have found now is that as you work online, as you discover working online and how much more fun that is, how exciting that is, because you're working with people who are interested already in what you have, in what your skill or your talent or your service is. You can get that much more excited about being a part of their lives and helping them, and about them finding you and you finding them. So I think that's been a big, exciting thing for me. And so along the way, we have been sharing with you real strategies of online marketing, ways to get traffic to your window, as you may want to call it, like if you've got a brick and mortar business or you're in a mall or wherever you've got your door and your display window. And you want that to be as attractive and capture people coming by. And so we talked about that. We talked about your belief and the reality of the fact that your belief and attitudes towards things and your values, that you have to be in alignment with those, or you're not going to go anywhere. I mean, I can give you the information on the mechanics and the strategies that we were going to go over tonight, which we're going to do when we're all together next week. And I can give you those, but the reality is if your attitude is such that you're not staying focused, or if you're finding yourself get overwhelmed, or if you're checking in and out as you're doing your information, as you're doing your income producing activities, or maybe just your education part of what you're doing, and you're finding that you're not moving forward, chances are you've got an alignment issue. And so this selfie idea that I've titled it, because that just seemed right to me, that just seemed to click for me, is and I'll be totally honest with you, I went to an amazing Dr. Piscopo, who's an acupuncturist, and he also does biopuncture and some, I wish I had it written down. I actually don't have any notes with me, so this is totally off the cuff, and so I don't want to say anything that's incorrect, but he had an electro machine. It's not a TENS machine. It works at the DNA level, and was working with other things that I could explain another day, but I don't want to tell you too much because I'm not exactly familiar with it. But let me just tell you, he's an amazing doctor. Works not only on the physiological and physical levels, but also on my mindset and on my attitude and with my moods, and talking about nutrition and sleep and different things like that. And those are all so important. And those are all flags in a way that you can pay attention to as you pay attention to yourself and become more aware of yourself. Pay attention to those flags that are telling you something isn't in alignment. And what I mean by that is, for me, if I start to step away from a blog, or I write several blogs like I did last week, but I don't post them, this is definitely an awareness for me, and a flag goes up, and it's time to pay attention. Now, there's times when we need to pull back, and we need to take a break, and we need to rest. And that's really important for every one of us so that we can excel, so that we can move forward in a better way, so we can be refreshed and move forward. But there are times when we get in those, maybe a rut, as we call it, or you're in an area, or you, let me phrase that. Sometimes you'll step back, or you'll fall into old patterns, and you'll find yourself not doing what you know is beneficial. And in those periods of time, it's time to take a look at these 4 selfies. And now Dr. Piscopo didn't call them selfies, but they are about yourself. And they are, I did write them down so that I wouldn't forget them, but self-esteem, self-love, self-image, and self-worth. Wouldn't you know it, the one that I struggle with the most is the one that I kind of hesitated on. And so I'm not going to go into each one of those tonight, but what I want to go into is just one. Well, self-esteem is in what you're doing and how you feel about what you're doing. When you're in alignment with what your values and attitudes and beliefs are, then you're gonna, hello, oops, got Spencer here and I'm totally on live. But it's just me tonight. Regina is trying to do some stuff with her house, finishing up her stuff in Hawaii. And Depot is on the road somewhere. So I keep getting little recordings, which is kind of amazing. I don't know if you know it out there, but on the messaging for Facebook now, I can actually just push audio and I can leave an audio, which is really nice. Like when you're driving, I can push a button and I can hear what Depot has to say. And I can push a button and I can record what I want to say back so that nobody's, looking at texting. Absolutely. So, okay, back to what I was talking about. So self-esteem is in what you're doing. Self-image is in how you feel about yourself. Like when you look in the mirror, how you feel about how you look, how you feel about, but it's not about how others feel. It's absolutely your belief. And in having self-love, it's about, it's a decision. I got to tell you, I spent, after my divorce, I spent a year. I had decided that for maybe more than a year, but for sure for at least a year, I have a love relationship with myself. So if anybody asked if I was in a relationship, I would absolutely say yes, I am. I'm in a relationship with myself. And what I was doing was I was spending time learning to love myself in many different ways. And each month I would renew of what I would do that month, like compassion. So I would have self-compassion. And I might choose one month for pleasure. What are the things that I enjoy the most? And that would be something I would focus on. So, and that I could do a whole hangout on just right there, because that was, so self-love though, what I've found, and like Dr. Piscopo said the other day, is that it's a decision that you make. I will love myself. And when you make that decision that you're going to love yourself, then is when you, every day, you act in accordance with that. In other words, a decision that you're going to make. I mean, if something comes up and you have a choice to make, it's easy if you know, I'm going to love myself. So by loving myself, is this situation going to be the best? Does it show love for me? And if it doesn't, then you know that that's not, that you can say no. And so that's self-love, and you decide every day that you're going to act in alignment with loving yourself. But the one that I want to talk about that's really been exciting for me, because it's one that I need to work on, and I went ahead and was given an exercise, and I went through and did it, and it was very enlightening, very inspiring, very opening for me, and that's the self-worth. And this is like kind of tough to talk about, because this is like right here, right me. I mean, I'm just talking to you right now. You're going to hear about the fact that what has been the hardest for me in the last couple of weeks, and the flag that came up and I pulled away, and I had tons of videos that I've done that I didn't put out, didn't post, lots of blogs that I didn't post. And why? Because I was struggling with the self-worth area. And self-worth is something that you can't get or fulfill or create outside yourself. I exercise class and feel. I can't read an excellent book on self-worth and feel more self-worth. I can't have a whole bunch of friends telling me how worthy I am and gain self-worth, because self-worth comes from inside. And like the phrase that I just love is, you have to unearth it. Many people don't take the time and the glorious opportunity to go ahead and go inside. It's a lot easier and it's a lot more distracting to go outside and feel like you have some fulfillment in words that others tell you, or maybe movies, or exercise, or a project you did, or something you did. But the reality is it's very deep within you. And two things that you'll know if you have self-worth, then you'll know, what your purpose is in life. That's number one. And number two, you know and are living in alignment with what is sacred to you. And so, hold on one second here. Rufio, what are you doing? I don't know if you can hear him, but my dog is making the weirdest sounds. Okay, so back to self-worth. So what I was given, the exercise I was given, and I absolutely recommend it. It's pretty phenomenal. I thought I had it sitting right here with me, and I was going to kind of read through it with you, some of the things that I found that happened for me. But I'll just explain it to you. You get a legal pad of paper or a stack of paper, something that you can flip through. Flip through it really easily. Get yourself a pen or pencil, and you want to go to an area like right now. I've got an area that's very quiet, if my dog Rufio isn't making funny sounds. And take the time to start writing. Start to write. You want to either pray or meditate on your purpose in life, what is sacred to you, to search for those things, to ask questions to yourself, and to get in that mode of what is sacred and what is your purpose in life. Or you can ask it to the universe. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to start to write. This exercise is so, the idea is you're not typing, because typing isn't, but it's something between, and I've heard this over and over again, between my pen, my hand, and my brain. As I'm writing on the paper, there's something about that. I don't quite understand the whole methodology, mechanics, even, I guess it's probably quantum physics, that kind of thing. I don't quite understand how that works, but I know it does. I know when you use a blue pen and you write your notes rather than typing or putting them in, that your mind will remember them even better, and that you'll learn in a quicker way. And so this exercise is so beneficial in that way. So when you're writing, you don't want to worry about punctuation. You don't want to worry about capitalization, no spelling, no nothing like that. You're just going to write, and everything's just flowing together. And that's why you've got to have either the legal pad or a stack of paper that you can just flip, because you don't want to stop in that flow of writing. And you want to write, and you want to write for just as long as it takes. And I was told that, hey, 20 minutes, you're probably going to have some results in 20 minutes, because that's about the average. But what happened for me was I started to write, and honestly, I had been really emotional for the few days, well, actually for weeks before, and we've had some fires in Wenatchee. I've had some friends have some experiences with death in their family, and mourning the loss of their home burned down, several things like that. So I've been in a very emotional state of being. And so crying was something that was occurring, on a regular basis for me. And so when this idea of writing until I cry was kind of funny to me in a way, because I thought, well, I've already been crying. So how's this going to work? So, but no, I wrote and I wrote, and a good hour went by. And I had filled up, well, I don't know if I filled it up. I shouldn't say that. I don't have it sitting right here. But I had several pages. And what I had done was I had actually flipped the legal pad over. It wasn't a full new legal pad, but I had flipped it over and right on the other side, and I was very frustrated. And decided to just take a break and maybe think in my mind about that, was the thought process again, what is sacred, and what is my purpose. And so I took a break, and as a matter of fact, I had an appointment. So I had that appointment. That was a great appointment. It was an adjustment for my neck and nerve flow, which was really great. And my doctor that helps with chiropractic said, don't just let it go. Don't get frustrated. You spent an hour, something there. Don't quit. He told me to go back and relax, breathe, and keep writing. And he had faith in me. And I'll tell you what happened. It absolutely happened along the way. I was about 10 minutes into writing some more. And it was interesting because sometimes as I write, look at the words that I'm writing. And sometimes I think ahead even. I write really fast. And I began to cry. So I actually stopped and went back to see what I had written because it was just flowing pretty quick. And it was quite amazing. And the next step that I took, read that again, hold it dear in my heart, and decide again if it was in alignment. And then I know I've talked to you about thought about doing that, but ended up so exhausted. And I think maybe the exercise, and the emotions, and everything. I didn't end up doing that. Just fell asleep. And then today, I met with my dear friend. We mastermind. We decided that we absolutely have to do it once a week because we were doing that once a week for a while and then stopped doing it. And it is so beneficial to who can be your accountability partner, who can be your motivator, who you can bounce things off each other. And she's just incredible when it comes to understanding energy. And I was able to work through this, even just a small amount. I didn't tell her everything, but was able to work through exactly what my life purpose is and what is sacred to me. And my friend, part of that sacredness is you, and understanding that what is inside you is more powerful and more amazing and awesome than you can imagine. And that when we try to go outside ourselves to find these things and to feel better about ourselves and to live our life's purpose, we just can't. We just don't find fulfillment in things outside ourselves, because that great power and the sacredness is within you. And my friend, if you are struggling and wanting to figure out your life purpose, this is a super place to start. Is to dig in, go inside yourself, let it unearth, or like Derek Rydell says, let it emerge, and find it within you because it is there. I believe that it's about being reminded or remembering, because it's already there. It's already in you. You came here. You're an infinite being having an earthly experience, and the power of your purpose and your soul is already there. And it's just in remembering. I remember reading in Napoleon Hill, there was a story about a composer that said all he need do was remember the song that had never been heard on earth before, and that he'd never written or heard before. Had to do was remember it, and then he could compose it beautifully. And so I really believe that is the case for you too. Let's see, we're looking at, wow, it's already been a little bit of time, and I hope some of the things I've shared with you have given you great value that you can use in your life and put to practice, and exercises that you can put to work so that you can move ahead. And I wish that for you. My phone. Oh, shoot. I can see that Deepo's trying to get on right now. I thought I sent him a page. Okay. I'm going to write on its way. So I could just tell. All right, so this is the one. I've got a link down here I need to. Oops. I gave it to him. I didn't see it there. So I'm going to copy this. Sorry, everybody. Bear with me so we can see Deepo. I'm going to send him this. So let me talk to him. So you guys can see there's this little button I can push, and then you push on this like red recorder button. And you can see. All right, I've sent you the page. Let me know if that's the right link. Thanks. And then look, it just pulls right up down below. So you can have that to push while you're driving. Isn't that cool? I think that's awesome. All right, so where are you? I know you can see me as I play with my screen. Oh gosh, maybe it froze. All right, so I'm hoping he'll be able to come on and maybe talk a little bit about one of these. Maybe he's had some experience with some of these, like self-esteem, self-image, self-worth, and self-love, so he can share that with us. And if you're out there and you have questions, I keep saying I'm going to put that Q&A up, and I'm going to try it right now again. I worked on it last week to see if I could get it up. See all these popping. So we are still live, and I appreciate you guys hanging in there. And okay, so now we've got we should have a question and answer page. I'm not sure if it comes up down below. On mine, it's over on the side. So on my right side, which is probably maybe your left. But, so if you have any questions or things, comments that you want to make. Oh, okay. Hold on a second here. I gave him the wrong link. Okay, so that's later. Technical difficulties again, and I've got this particular computer that I have, I know is not the best as far as the ones that I've been using in the past. This one's not the greatest. So what I'm going to do is, excuse me, I'm going to put this back up again. And, wish I was quicker at this. Come on, help me out here. It's just totally, and my computer course is going slower than it's gone in a really long time. Oh, excuse me. That was the other thing that I was working on is amount of sleep that we get is so crucial. And I know I've shared the 8, with Brendan Burchard, and Charge, his Charge Life book. That's just so awesome. He talks about making sure you get 8 hours of sleep and how crucial that is, getting your water that you need and eating enjoy and eating, not just with not just because you have to, but with joy, eating joyfully. Important things. Come on.
Okay, so here's how to get to that link. When you look at the options on your Hangout, some of the ones on the screen, on Hangout screen, they're typically like the plus sign, the hand, the call sign, uh, invite people sign. When you click that plus sign, you should be able to, you should come up with a link. That's the link that you copy and send to me. Let me know if that works.
Aha, did you guys catch that too? Woohoo! All right, so this is the one I need to send him. Here we go. What a guy. Yeah, I'm going to jump out of here for a second. Get out of there. Put this right. Looks like it didn't take the whole thing. Thank goodness. Or maybe it did. Oh. Gosh, is my sound been off this whole time now? No. Nope, it doesn't say that it is. So good thing. So while we're waiting for Depot to come on, I'll double check this again and make sure I got that. Oh, I see the box opening up.
Hi, Laurie.
Sorry about that. Shoot. That took some time. I'm really sorry about that.
You did
And
awesome.
the rest
What
of the
did you
audience
say?
that's out there being well.
Hello, everyone.
Oh, I just said to thank you to the glad you're here. Go ahead and let everyone know who you are. I kind of talked about you and what we've. I actually kind of covered what we other hangouts, just the titles, you know, and then that we'll talk about the strategies and mechanics next week. So tell us about yourself. How are you?
Okay, you're breaking up a little bit, but I think that's part of the gist. And I think I have an echo as well. Might want to custom the echo. Laura, can you hear me? Hello? Okay.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay.
Okay. I'm looking.
I'm looking.
I think you said I should introduce myself now
I should introduce myself now because
an echo. Do you know something
an
else?
echo. Do you know?
Oh, now my computer's being so weird. I almost want to run up and get my other laptop to make it work better because I really think it's this computer.
Oh, you think so? Okay. I mean, we can
Oh, you
just.
think so? Okay. I mean, we can.
So did you already give the training or sure, let me just introduce myself then we can. Is that okay?
I didn't hear what you said. I'm sorry.
Oh,
What did you
sorry.
say?
Oh, I said I should just introduce myself. Was that what you said or?
Perfect. I'm actually got my thumbs up on the screen.
Oh, sorry, I can't even see the screen. The screen is frozen as well too on my end here. Do you want me to try to reconnect or do you want me to just flow with it? Okay, I can't hear anything. Okay, I think. Do you want me
Go
to?
take it. Go ahead. And
Okay. All right. Hi everyone. My name is Deepa Rochelle. Wow, I'm having a bad echo here. Pretty much for me, it started for me when I left my home country back in Nigeria because I wanted to live a better life for myself and for my family. As a matter of fact, I left Nigeria, especially in a normal warm weather. Talk about 100 plus degree weather, but then coming here to the United States in, in the early part of the winter time period, right, in the month of January. Actually, this was in 2002. Um, but having such a contrast, having to overcome such a contrast of being familiar with everything that I've been familiar with, right? The friends, the culture, the environment, the language. I mean, of course, we do speak English in Nigeria, but of course, it's a different kind of English. But just having to overcome all that challenges, I was willing to go through that because I wanted something better for myself and better for my family. As a matter of fact, while in school, because I'd actually gone for school at that time period, and I probably not shared this before. I did some odd jobs. I did quite a lot of odd jobs to try to fend for myself as well, to just some extra income for myself. I mean, talking about washing dishes, I mean, cleaning bathrooms and things like that. But then I couldn't let any challenges that I was having to stop me because I wanted something better. All I had been taught was to go to school and get good grades. So at the end of the day, I can end up working at a job for 40 hours a week for 40 years of my life, so that I can end up retiring on 40% of what was not even enough in the first place. That was all that I was told that was the way to success, right? So I was going along that road until my mentor, that is my dad, actually sent me an email at one time, and he said, "If you want to be great, just study great people." And that's when I realized that something was missing. That I wasn't studying great people, right? So I knew something was not right, and that's when he recommended that I study the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, right? I read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, and on opening the book and reading the book, I realized I was I was that there was a complete information out there that I didn't have access, that I didn't know about. That is that the rich people were teaching their children some certain kind of principles, some certain kind of guidelines that the poor and the middle class were not, right? That's when I realized that the rich people were living on a different side of what we call the quadrant than what the poor and the middle class were, right? The poor and the middle class were on the E and the S side, while the rich were on the B and the I side, right? And we ask yourself, what is the E and the S? What is the B and the I? And that's why I think good. I just like to leave it like as that, so that I can encourage you to go and read the book as well too, right? So that you can maybe from just watching this program, you can say, oh wow, I'm glad that Deepak told me to just go read the book, right? Not wanting to explain the ES and the B and the I side of the coin, because that book changed my life, right? And I believe it's gonna change yours tremendously. So I realized that if you wanted to be rich, if you wanted to be successful, right? If you wanted to have the income, the wealth, right, that the rich people do have, right? You need to be operating on the B and the I side. That is the business, having your own business, right? Having your own business was what I found out, and that's when I realized, oh my goodness, I didn't have a business. I was just working a job, right? And that was all. That was all that was in my hands, right? And then I realized that was just the way to go broke, right? That's definitely not the way to be successful. So I immediately, on recommendation, I went into real estate, right? Delving into books, trying to learn the secret, the formula, right? And then by going through it, I realized, by going through real estate, I was feeling at it. I went into stock trading and options trading. Was feel that it actually invested thousands and thousands of dollars and lost them all. And I went into network marketing as well, to investing thousands of dollars, failing miserably at it, right? Just doing it wrong, right? But I couldn't quit. I couldn't give up, because I wanted something better for myself. If this was the way that the rich people were, I just needed to figure it out. I just needed to make it work. I just needed to make it happen for myself. So I was feeling miserable at it, right? Until two things changed for me, right? I found a mentor and I found a system, right? Found a mentor and you find out that that's typically the denominator that connects you with successful people who made a change in their lives, right? That I connected with a mentor and I connected with an online system, right? And that's when I realized, I needed to change my mindset, right? And I needed to be operating with this particular system that I have access to, that Laurie has access to, that you can get the opportunity, the chance to have access to when you decide to lock and work with us, right? And as a result of doing that, right, I can tell you I've made thousands of dollars online, right? I can tell you I've been cited on the four major networks: ABC, NBC, CBS, and Fox, right? But I share all this just to let you know that, I mean, I miss the struggles, I miss the challenges that I've gone through, right? I mean, being able to turn a new leaf, being able to have that I can talk to you about, is it's just to, not to impress you, but just to impress a point that it's possible for you, that regardless of wherever you're at, right, regardless of whatever challenges you may be going through, right, regardless of whatever struggles you may have had in the past, maybe failures in the past, and thinking this is not going to work for me, this is too hard, right, that it is possible for you, right? That if I can do it, you can do it. If Laurie can do it, you can do it as well too. So just wanted to use that to encourage you, and to invite you as well if you want to work with someone, right, work with us, and we'll help you to get to where you want to go to. So, Laurie, thank you for letting me share. Sorry for the long description there.
Oh, no, no, you're fine.
Oh,
I've
I
got,
guess.
now it's going to echo.
Oh, I can see you now.
Yeah,
I'm guessing you switched computers.
I'm just trying to figure out how to make one silent and one not here.
Oh, okay.
Am I echoing in your ear too?
No, no, no. I'm actually hearing you better. This did you just move to a new computer?
I did.
Okay, because that one is better. Maybe you might want to log out of that other. Oh, wow. Well, I don't know. I was thinking maybe I might want to log out of the other one, but this one is fine. This one is perfect.
I'm just not sure. It said it went off the air completely while you were talking, but I was right here with you on this computer. On the other computer, it said that it was no longer lost connection, that the Hangout wasn't on, but it was
Oh,
all showing live here, and then now it's back up just fine on the other computer. It's
oh
kind
wow.
of weird. So I don't
Yeah.
know. But I sure appreciate you sharing your story and sharing that with us. I'm always amazed and inspired by the courage and the tenacity and the perseverance, coming here and just moving on and recognizing, after studying the quadrants, recognizing what you can do to make your life different. And isn't it cool that even though we can go through all these struggles, that there's something really cool always, there's always a gift or some sort of reward, or I don't know what you want to call it, but there's always something good that comes out of struggle. So
Absolutely.
appreciate
You know,
it.
and that's absolutely right. You know, sometimes many people want to. I don't. I think you and I were at an event when a lady came on stage and said, um, "You want to know my?" She said something about she said something in this line. Says people wanna share my glory when they don't know my story, right? That is there's always a story. There's always a story behind the glory that comes at the end of the day, or behind the maybe the better way to put it, behind the reward, right? Behind the prize that comes at the end of it, right? I mean, you have to pay the price. Someone says you have to pay the price in order to obtain the prize. So yeah, going through the struggles, the challenges, but not giving up, not settling for less than the best that you are, I think is very, very key. Think I remember someone shared this about Winston Churchill. I think it was Winston Churchill. I think he had been invited to a university at one time. I believe so. To say something that would encourage the students, and then he got up, mounted the pulpit, mounted the stage, right, and he said, never, ever, 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 ever give up. And then he dropped the mic, and then well, I don't know if he had a mic with him at the time, but then he just stopped the conversation and just exit. He just exited the stage, and I thought that was very, very profound. That regardless of whatever it is that you're going through, right? I mean, if you're believing yourself for something better, right? If you're believing for freedom, right? Especially for at this time when we're shooting this recording, I believe uh, we're about to celebrate July 4th, the independence, the remembrance of how. And I like your outfit. Oh, awesome! Oh my goodness, you're all set. You're all decked out. That is so. And I love the. Is it the sweater that you have on? It's
Oh
absolutely
yeah,
awesome.
yep. I'm very sorry.
Yeah.
Am I muted? Oh, I guess I'm not muted. Yeah, I put on the sweater, for freedom. We're not just
Yes.
celebrating for you and I. This isn't just a celebration of the United States freedom, but in our endeavors and in our moving forward with our dreams and what we want to do in our lives, we're living freedom too and helping others to get free. So that's something really cool to celebrate, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean that because that's really what it's about. It's helping people to live the drudgery of life, right? You know, a lot of people are way down thinking this is all that life has to offer, right? Some are weighed under a job and working 12. As a matter of fact, and I didn't mention this, right? I went to the UK, right? And I went to the UK. I think was it last week, 2 weeks ago, right? And then I was talking with my host at the time that hosted me, and I was discussing with him, and he told me that in the UK, this is just for the UK, right? And of course, it can apply anywhere. He said they worked about just about 35 hours in a week, right? 35 hours in a week, and you pretty much have the remaining, because they have the remaining time to themselves. But here, I feel here, especially in the US, is where you have people working not just 40 hours a week, but 50, 60, 70, even sometimes 80 plus hours in a week, right? And people are drudged down by that, thinking that's all that there is in life, and not knowing that there's something better, that there's a different way, there's a different path that you can take, where you can only work 2 to 3 hours in a day, and just be able to take the rest of the time off, just because you set up your business in a way that it can generate income for you, right? And you don't have to be slaving on that this modern day slavery type notion of a job. So and that is what we are all about. That's to help you to it's to liberate the world from the drudgery of life, from the modern day slavery and the thinking that there's only one way by which you can succeed, right? Rather, there is a better way, and that is what I believe we offer to to everyone that wants to connect with us and align with us and run with us. So, thanks again, Laurie, for the opportunity to be on the hangout here with
Yeah, hey, no worries at all. Yeah, we talked about, okay, so I went through a depot, the different, I call them selfies, but it's a self-esteem, self-image, self-love, and self-worth. And I really kind of delved into self-worth and gave them an exercise that they can do to find out what's sacred to them and to find their life's purpose. And so, but I thought as you were coming back on, maybe one of those, you've had an experience with self-esteem, self-image, self-worth, or self-love that has benefited you in your experiences in, in your business, and or maybe just in your life that you can share with us too, or that comes up for you. I don't know if that, um,
you. Oh
if there's
wow.
anything.
Well, wow. I would have actually loved to sit and actually listen to you share all those talk about all those four different what you call it, selfies, right? But I think it's very crucial. I mean, just as I wrote them down and I said them, I'm like, wow, how powerful is that? I mean, these are like critical pillars that change life completely. Even if I was to just maybe talk a little bit about self-esteem, I think self-esteem, having a self-esteem is very key to and you can correct me, Laurie. I believe self-esteem has something to do with confidence, right? Being confident in the way you portray yourself, right? Being confident in who you are, right? Because if you're not confident in who you are as a human being, right? Engaging with other people, right? Maybe just in a one-to-one thing, one-to-one conversation, or just even in business, right? Would be very difficult if you don't have that high self-esteem, right? If you don't understand that, if you're not confident in yourself, right? If you're not confident in who you are, in who you have been created to be, in who you have been designed to be, in the power that or the gifting that has been given inside, that has been put inside of you to deliver, to share to the world. I believe that all of us have something to give to the world, right? And maybe as I share this, I may be blurring self worth and self love, but I think that unless and let me just try to just uh maybe maybe take on all of them together at a go, because I think I could be blowing them up. But I think when you love yourself, there's a scripture verse here that says there's the I think it's one of the commandments. I think someone had asked Jesus at one time. He said, "So what is the most important commandment? Right? What is the most important commandment? In most important commandment?" Someone was asking Jesus that. For those who are Bible scholars here, and Jesus said, "Love the Lord your God," right? And he said, what is the other one, right? What's the second verse? And it says, love your neighbor as yourself, right? Um, it shows that there's great value, right, in loving yourself. But how can you love, how can you love other people, right, when you don't even love yourself, right? How can you love other people when you don't have you don't understand who you are, number one, the self-esteem for you enough to be able to love who you have been designed to be, right? From the way I see it, right, even from that calendar, I think it's when you love God, when you love yourself, you're able to love your neighbors, right? You're able to express, you're able to give more, you're able to show more compassion on someone else, right? Just because you have that high self-esteem, right? You have that self-love, right? You have that self-love, which is very cool, and you understand your self-worth as well too, right? Who you have been created to be, the gifting that God has placed inside of you. I believe it is so key. It reminds me, and you may not be a Bible scholar, but just allow me to make references to and this is from our audience, just allow me to make references to the Bible here. You know, there was a scripture verse that says there's something in you that God has placed inside of you that no one else knows, right? No one else knows how to do it but you, right? That was very profound when I realized that. So every one of us have something to give, something to deliver to the world, right? And until you begin to discover that, until you begin to open yourself up to the possibilities, to learning, right? Especially like information that we can share with you, right? I mean things that can help you to grow better, to move forward, right? Uh, until you begin to understand that you won't be able to give what has been placed inside of you. You won't be able to share that with the world. It also reminds me of another scripture verse, and you say, "Oh wow, we just stop with the Bible, we just stop with the Bible scriptures." But I think these things are key, right? Even you can apply it even to you can apply it to your life, right? That that someone's the scripture said that a gift will make room for you, right? And I think that is very very key because when you can work on your gift, right? the, the sky is just like the starting point, right? Just like my mom said, the sky is just like the starting point. So you need to understand that you need to have all these selfies, right? I think they are so critical, right? Self-esteem, self-image, right? Self-worth and self-love, right? I mean, when you can harness, when you can easily hold on to, when you can grasp what all this and being in line with it, I think it makes it very very easy. It makes it very it makes you more. It makes you powerful. I mean, not powerful in an arrogant way, but confident enough to be able to express who you are and express what has been put in you to share with the world. So um, um, that's just what my take is on this office that you pointed out. But I really love this show.
Yeah, that's, when you said that you started with that scripture or the commandment, the great commandment, I think a lot of people hear that, or we all are used to, okay, love my neighbor, but the part we don't hear is love my neighbor as I love myself, because it's such a, I think we kind of shove that aside. But I think you're right about the confidence that is gained and the courage and the strength that comes with putting those into play, putting those self-love, all those things into play. And I know one place that has helped a lot with that is on that Think and Grow Rich call with Paul Hutchings. Has been a big, so I would absolutely recommend reading books like Think and Grow Rich or The Law of Success, or even the one like Deepa was talking about is the quadrants and the Rich Dad Poor Dad Kiyosaki. A lot of those kinds of books, I talked about in the beginning that, reading those books don't create self-worth, and because they're from the outside, and self-worth comes from the inside. But at the same time, the more you understand the things that you're doing, that's your self-esteem. Your confidence and your competence are going to increase, and so the books that we read really they do make a difference in that, I think, too. So, but I've been on, let's see, I think I've been on almost an hour now. But we had some slow, periods of time where the computer wasn't working or I was sending things your way and trying to get that together. So I'm just super appreciative of all of you that hung in there, and I hope that what we've given you is value and valuable, that you can try the exercise that I gave you with the paper and writing without stopping, and write till you cry. And I think you've heard the saying, when your why is so big that you cry, you'll be in the right place. So it's the same kind of thing, where you're writing and writing until you cry. You're going to find out what's sacred to you, and you're going to be closer to knowing what your purpose in life is. So I thank you, my friend Deepo, for coming on. and I'm excited for next week when we can be together and talk about the strategies and mechanics. And do you have any? Do you want to wrap it up with a bow and say, happy freedom, or do you have anything you'd like to close with?
Just I'd let you know that, but I just wanted to appreciate you once again and to thank you. You know, Laurie, you may not know this, but I strongly um, appreciate and value you because you're someone who's dedicated and committed to coming out always to deliver value, to impact other people's lives. And I do not take that lightly. I do not take that for granted. And I just want to use this to tell any and everyone watching this that I mean, Laurie is definitely someone you want to connect with, right? I mean, and that is why she does this, right? Because she holds you valuable. She's learned a lot that she believes that she can send out to you, right? So that you can also grow as well, you can also develop as well. And that is why we hold calls like this. That's why we hold hangouts like this, right? To help empower you, to help lift you up, to help inspire you, and to keep pushing you forward because you absolutely deserve to go higher. You deserve to become better than where you are right now, and never to give up on your dreams. Never to settle for less than the best you can be. Right? Mediocrity is not for you. Right? Mediocrity may be for others, but the fact that you are here watching us, the fact that you're here listening, the fact that you're here taking notes shows that mediocrity is not your portion. It's not your heritage. Right? That you deserve to go higher. You deserve to become better. You deserve to achieve the better, the finer things in life, right? And like I said, that is why we are here. That is why Laurie is here. That is why she comes in here and says, let's have another hangout and let's just connect with other people and let's show them, let's teach them the things that we know so that they can also achieve better results in life, right? And if you like the opportunity to work with us, right? If you are tired of your present circumstance, right? Maybe you're under a job that's stressing you, right? Working uh 40, 50, 60, 70, even 80 plus hours in a week, right? You say maybe there's something better that I can do, right? We can offer that to you. Lord can offer that to you. I can offer that to you. That is why we are here, like I said, right? Whether whatever nature it is of that thing that may be holding you down, not allowing you to achieve those final things, right? Maybe you want to spend more time with your family, right? Maybe you want to take the vacation that you've always wanted, right, with your spouse, right? And maybe you just want to be able to give better things to your family, right? We can help you to do that through the opportunity, through the system that we have. Like I shared with you, right? The thing that changed my life, the thing that changed my story, that added a massive change to my story was the fact that I connected with a mentor, right? And I connected with a system. And that is what we stand for here, right? To stand as mentors, right? And to connect you with a system that can help you to move forward and to achieve those results that you want in your life and in your business. We believe in you, right? We believe in you. You deserve to achieve better things in life. You deserve the results that you want, right? So I just wanted to thank you once again, Laurie. Thank you for this opportunity and for always being dedicated and committed, right? Always being consistent with this hangouts, just to deliver value to our audience. So thank you once again. I really appreciate you. And in talking about freedom, yes, right. That is what we stand for, right? Celebrating freedom, right? Celebrating your independence from the drudgery of life, from the drudgery of life, right? So happy freedom day, freedom season, freedom life for you, right? And Laurie, thank you very much. Back to you.
All right, and you heard it from the man. Deepo, thanks so much. I tell you, I get excited just hearing you talk about. I'm excited. So you heard him. Just click the button, get with one of us, and start living freedom. Start moving towards your freedom. I know you can do it, and we wish you all freedom on this Independence time of year and 4th of July. And even if you're not in the U.S., we wish you freedom. So take care, and we'll see you again next Thursday. Same time, same place. Bye for now. This trick. Which one's going to click off?